Hey guys, what's good? Today I wanted to talk about study tips. So before I sat down and filmed this video, I had my list of my personal study tips that work super well for me, and I went to YouTube and I typed in, just like study tips, study hacks and stuff, and watched a few videos there from the most popular ones to make sure I wasn't giving you repetitive information. And they just talked about, like, listen to Beethoven while you study. Oh, study with a candle nearby you, like, okay, these are real study tips. These tips, if you use them correctly, will get you from whatever you're making now, be it D's, C's, B's, like up into the A's. I'm an A student, and these are tips and tricks that I've been using pretty much my entire education career. They've worked out for me so far, so don't knock it till you try it. So study tip number 1, study for a considerably long amount of time, but in short segments. So what I mean by that is I might sit down at my desk to study for 3 hours because I have a 3-hour chunk of time to study, but I won't study straight for those 3 hours. Your brain needs a break, so while you're taking that break, you have the information kind of settling in, and then when you go back to review it next time, it'll be like right on the surface to where you'll be like, oh yeah, I remember this. It totally beats cramming it in the night before. So what I like to do is maybe study for 40 minutes straight and then take a 10 to 20 minute break. And when I go on my break, I'll text people back, listen to music, watch a YouTube video, just do something that I would enjoy doing in my free time. And then at the end of that 10-20 minutes or whatever, then I go back to studying for 30 or 40 more minutes, and then I take another short break, 10-20 minutes, and then I'll go back and study for however long I need to. And I think breaking up studying like that, it helps to just synthesize all the information. You get a chance to pause and let your brain rest. It's kind of like doing a good circuit workout where you do all your burpees, high jump kicks, planks, and then you take like a minute break, right? And then you start the circuit up again. That's because your muscles are under a lot of stress and they're being used a lot during that circuit period. But then when you take that minute rest, like your body gets a chance to recover and you start to feel a little better, and then you do the circuit again so you can increase your strength. And that's what your brain is doing when you take these rests. So you're using your brain for like 30-40 minutes for studying, and then you take like a 10-minute break, and it gives you a chance to rest and reset, and then you're fresh and good to go again for your next short segment of studying. Study tip number 2, study according to what kind of class you're studying for, or what kind of materials you're studying for. And I see these in kind of 2 categories. Like, you can have concepts that you study, or you can have problem-solving ideas that you're studying. For me, I can describe this with science classes. So for my biology classes, like microbiology, it's more concept-based, where flashcards are going to work really well, and I like to use Quizlet because it's an online flashcard website. It's free to use. You've probably used it before. I think it's a very valuable resource. Then for the problem-solving type classes, it's going to be a lot more in-depth and like involved. So what I do for organic chemistry, for example, that's a lot of reaction mechanisms and understanding basic principles and using those basic principles to solve problems. So what I like to do for that is make study packets. So they're more detailed than flashcards. Here you can see that I basically go through chapter by chapter, or my professor uploads PowerPoints, so I'll go through, make sure I know the key concepts from each PowerPoint and each lecture he gives, and I'll put random sticky notes on there for really important things that I wanted to go back to, and just highlight things that are important, like names, and then you start to see mechanisms and how you see a basic mechanism lay out so that you know all the basic qualities behind that. And with the notes I take, these are my guidelines for when I start working practice problems. And when you're working in problem-solving classes, it's very important to always work through multiple problems, as many as you can get your hands on. Tip number 3. You may not have known, but I'm an SI leader myself, and I teach for university chemistry too. By doing that, it's made me realize that once you look at material in a different light, like as if you're going to teach the material, you begin to understand it and work with it at a much more like deep level, because now you're not just studying this for yourself to know. You're looking at this material and saying, okay, I have to know everything about this so I can teach someone else what this concept is or how to solve this problem. And if you study like you're going to teach it, no matter what you're studying for, you're going to start thinking about it more in depth and try to remember it better. I would definitely say studying like you're going to teach the material is a great tip. And even if you have to go to your friends that are in that class and just start spouting off information, and like they might say stuff back to you that they know, and you just kind of bounce back and forth between you two guys, just reciting this material and teaching each other, that's going to help you remember it a lot better, because now you haven't just physically seen it on the paper, you're verbally saying it and you're thinking it constantly. Study tip number 4. This is a big one. A lot of times you get really distracted when you're studying because your phone goes off. You have Twitter notifications, your best friend's texting you, hey, do you want to get dinner at 6 o'clock? And all these crazy things like blowing up on your phone. Airplane mode. Turn airplane mode on. What airplane mode does, it turns off your Wi-Fi and it turns off all notification sounds. This is really important. I love doing this while I study because it's just a productivity increaser, because then you're not getting those Snapchat notifications or anything else that's going to distract you on your phone. And then of course, if you do need to see something on your phone, it's going to show you all those notifications there if you click the home button, but they're not going to make sounds and light up the screen to notify you of them. So everything will be there when you get done studying, and then you can start replying to all your text messages. Trust me, your friends will understand. Don't let FOMO get the better of you. Airplane mode is just a game changer. My 5th and final tip for this video is, if you live in a dorm or a chaotic roommate situation in an apartment, the best thing you can do when you study is to get out of that environment. So last year I was staying in a dorm and I was sharing a room, like there were 2 beds in one room and we were sharing it. So there wasn't a really like personable space or quiet space you could make in a dorm, and obviously in the dorm all the people down your hall are going to be distractions too. So I would always carry myself and all my books up to the library or other study hubs on campus, like the chemistry library, the honors lounge, the biology majors lounge, just all these different areas that I found is like my study zone. So once you can get out of your home situation or a situation where you're comfortable, like for instance where you have your bed and you can get really lazy, get out of your living situation and go somewhere on campus, just somewhere that you know people aren't going to recognize you and distract you. So that's it for this video on study tips. I hope it helped you guys out. Like I said, I tried to use my personal study tips that I hadn't really seen in other people's videos, just so it's not repetitive. And I hope you can try using some of these to incorporate into your study regimen. If you pick one out of all the 5 that I gave you, airplane mode. So if you liked this video, you should leave it a like in the down bar. Also, if you want a part 2 of study tips, definitely let me know about that, because I want to do more college-based videos for the college series here on this channel, and I could definitely do more study tips if that was something that you were exceptionally interested in. Until next time guys, stay awesome. I love you. Bye!